part of UX. The UX designer that does that. So let's just look at an example of an information architecture, right? So yeah, this diagram is better. All right. So this is an information architecture for an e-commerce website. This logo is a company. They call it Geeks for Geeks, right? You know, I use a lot of platforms, right? There are a lot of resources, a lot of materials, right? So this is Geeks for Geeks. They don't just in the tech space, right? You know, when you want to learn, whether it's anything you want to learn in the tech space, Geeks for Geeks is the website, you know, that helps you to learn these things. They have materials, and I think they have YouTube videos too, right? So this is their information architecture for an e-commerce website, right? Now you can see for the home page always leads towards other pages. You can see it. So now you will not now come and say, "Oh, I'm a UI UX designer. My own page should not lead to any other page. That is how I want to design it." No, we don't do that here, right? Because now you see why UX is talking about user research too. What is the user used to? From my own page, I can go to any page on my website. That's what users are used to, right? If you go to open now, you don't need to change from one tab to another. Tab, 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 tab. In fact, banking applications don't have tabs. Do we know what a tab is? Let me see if I can bring out something that will show us what a tab is. Okay, let me use YouTube. Okay. Oh, I don't think you can see it, but just try. This bottom bar here, that's what I'm calling tab. This bottom bar. So we have home and this bottom bar here. That's what we call tab, right? Banking applications don't use that. Why? Because I don't want to be switching from tab to tab. I want to just transfer money. So you see the big button there, transfer. You just press it, you know. And I know you cannot see it. Just open your YouTube. Open your YouTube, and you know I'm trying to, but my screen is transparent, so it's affecting it's affecting the display as well. So this is what an information architecture does for us, right? It just shows us the different sections we have in a page. Where do they lead to? What should be contained? You can see now for an e-commerce website, the home page can lead to, you know, when we have location, your search, service, product, and payment. So from the home page, I can go to my products page. And in my products page, what will I see? A catalog. What is a catalog? Is it like a list? More like when you enter a supermarket. As you enter the supermarket, they don't hide all the items under the bench. No, they put them on shelves, right? They're on shelves, they're on display. So also that's what a catalog is, a product catalog. You can see all the products on display, right? That's just basically it. So the information architecture does all these things, outlines all the information. So this is just a simple information architecture. There are more complex information architectures that we have out there. Now let's go back to what we're talking about. And now we're in graphics design. Now, graphics design focus on the visual elements. It involves a specialized set of design related skills like color theory, typography, computer aided design, right? Now, as a graphic designer, you have an edge in UI UX. I tell designers, like, don't settle for just being a graphic designer. The world is shifting, the world is evolving. Learn UI UX. It's far more easier for you. Why? Because they already understand some design principles. We're going to be looking at design principles before we start even drawing out anything. Why? You need to understand that. You need to understand how visual elements are placed on a page. You need to understand how you can combine visual elements to communicate a message. To communicate a message. I'll give you an example of a very bad flyer. So let me look for it. Mostly those ones that are good, they are using AI to do. You don't want to pay graphic designer to do your designs. Okay, all right. So let me just open it. So I use Pinterest a lot. Let me present something else. All right. Okay. Sorry, I'm laughing. Something just entered my head. Now, if you see this flyer, If you see this flyer, would you not, even if it's a church, church is the house of God, would you not feel like these people, they might be kidnappers? Like maybe I will just enter this church and I will just disappear, right? Because of the way it is just displayed. Mostly those people that they are looking for workers and they will just write on the wall on the streets, workers needed, call this number. And somebody I was working with was like, assurance, if we call this number now, we will just disappear. Why? Because why do you have to? You don't have money. You don't even have money yourself, and you are saying you are looking for workers. How much do you want to pay me? They are saying, okay, we'll pay you 150K, but you are using chalk. You are using chalk, not even a flyer, you're using chalk to write it on walls. No, you will not want to call that number. Why? Because that's the way it is presented to you. It's presented as if it's fraudulent, and it's just presented anyhow, right? So if it's me, I will not go. There's nothing in this life that will make me go to this church. Nothing. I will be scared. Why? Because of the way it is just appearing. Now let's check out some other graphics. So I'm just going to type for church graphics. One thing I love about, I'm sure we all know of CCI. If we've heard of them, CCI, they have the most brilliant graphic designers. They have the most brilliant graphics designers. Right now, compare that graphics we saw to this one. You can see the pastor is smiling. He's smiling, and there are people there. And oh, yes, I want to go to this church. Everybody's smiling. Everybody's smiling, and it's welcoming. It's welcoming. There's something visual design does to you, right? So now let's move on. Let's move on. Okay. All right. So let's move on. Move on. All right. Now, a very important part of user experience is what we call user research. Now, user research is an investigation of how users, interact with your products in order to gather insights that will now inform the design process. You see a lot of people, when they want to build a product, they'll say, oh, help us fill this questionnaire. Help us fill this questionnaire. What are they trying to get? They're trying to ascertain whether that product that they're trying to launch, before they'll start paying a designer that will design everything, they will now pay a developer. The entire development process can cost up to 3 million. And you spend 3 million on a product that is not even useful, right? So before they do all of those things, there's what we call investigation. That is what we call user research. So it helps various okay, yes. With the help of various user research techniques, you set out to understand your users' needs, their attitude, and their pain points, as well as their behavior, right? There's something we call the user pain points. There are certain things that are pain that they are paining. It's a pain to the users. It's a pain to the users, right? And when you are doing your user research, you get to identify those areas, right? So we're going to look at pain points and how they can help you in designing a platform that is not just visually appealing but is useful. And that's why you can have a UI without UX, and you can have UX without UI. All of them, they work together. That's why it's called UI UX design. Now, for UI, we have what we call layouts. I've explained what layouts are. It just refers to how visual elements are organized on a page. How are they placed? Are they placed side by side? Are they placed, let me just tell you the truth before the thing disgrace me again. Up till today, I still get confused about what is horizontal and what is vertical. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but shall I just get it? Even if I do my hand like this, horizontal or vertical. So is the content placed horizontally or is it placed vertically? This thing, they flogged me in primary school because of it. And today I'm still trying. I'm still trying to understand it. So is it placed horizontally? I hope I'm right. Okay, I think this is vertical. Is it placed vertically or is it placed horizontally? I think I'm right. But you get this, right? So we're going to be looking at layouts. All right, so let's click on that link and let's see if we can look at some different layouts. All right, so if you need some of those links, I'm going to be sending them to the platform as well so that you can keep in touch. All right. So okay, I've